Hi, it's Jessie. I have acquired quite a stack of library books. Some of these were ones I put on hold for a video and then didn't end up reading them for that video because either by the time the hold came in I didn't want to, or the video went a different direction. Most of these are me being persuaded by the Pride display at the exit of my library, and just really wanting to pick up a little bit of everything. I am probably still going to read most of these, maybe even all of them, but what I figured I'd do today, just quickly, try a chapter tag and give a bunch of these a shot, just to see kind of what I think. Maybe that way I can prioritize them a little bit better. Or, you know, say, yeah, I don't think this is going to work for me, and return it to the library. No harm, no foul, because that's 7. And that's not counting the one I've already decided I'm going to return without reading, the one I'm currently reading, and the 2 that I'm not including in this, one because it's nonfiction, one because it's a short story collection that I know I'm going to read and are already queued up for next. So, I got 7 books here. I will tell you about them as I read them. First book is Melissa by Alex Gino. I don't know much about this other than it's a middle grade book about a very young trans girl. Yeah, that's really all I know. I've heard really good things about it. I think this got added to my want to read on Goodreads, now it's Storygraph, because it was on like a list of banned books, and I was like, wow, it seems like it's amazing that there's this book geared towards younger children, all about that experience. The first chapter, I mean, it wasn't particularly compelling. It was very much like, here, meet Melissa and her brother, and like what her life is like, that she clearly has this longing to be a girl but doesn't really understand it, and that it's something she hides. It was good. I can definitely tell. I mean, this is definitely going to be a quick, easy read. I'm just not sure I'm super compelled by it. Something I want to read because I think it's good to read. It'd be a good thing to be able to recommend or things like that. But as far as my interest, not super compelling, but not bad. Okay, so this is, let me see if I can hold this one, you can see the cover. One real downside of library books. This is That Inevitable Victorian Thing by E.K. Johnston. So this is kind of I think it's meant to take place in the future, but also in an alternate timeline, alternate history, in which Queen Victoria the First did some strange things, basically, or not strange, but different than what we, in our, actual history she did, which is basically, from my understanding in that little snippet that I read, was that she's engaged and married her children off, not to European royalty, but further royalty. And now it's years later, and there's a few different things at play here. There's 3 main characters: Melissa, Helena, Margaret, and August. And there's like, I think, a matchmaking process that like uses your genetics to determine your genetically best match, not so much for love or romance, but like your offspring would be the best. I'm not sure under what criteria. It feels a little eugenics-y, but like, I don't know. And so Margaret is the heir to the throne of England, but she's about to take a vacation to Canada. I'm not really sure what the intent of that is. Helena is somebody mildly significant. I'm not entirely sure who she is, but she's in New London. What is See, I don't quite understand what's going on, but I know these three, and then August is like the heir to the, what does it say? The Canadian Hong Kong. One of the most prominent Irish, Hong Kong, Chinese lineages in Canada. And I know the three of them are going to clash somehow and end up, I assume based on the poly flag here, together. It's definitely interesting. And I know there's things about like there's arranged marriage or something in here. I am intrigued. That first like chapter left me with so many questions that I really want to have answered. So that's probably a good place for it to leave me off. Okay, so this is Sawkill Girls by Claire Legrand. I don't know much about this other than it's a horror, or maybe it's more of a thriller, and it has lesbians. It's basically all I know. This was already on my want to read. I want to say maybe Books and Lala. Somebody, maybe Meg, somebody has definitely read this on YouTube and like sold it to me to make me interested enough to put it on my want to read. That said, this chapter felt like it took me forever to read. And I'm not really hooked on what's going on. And I know mysteries tend to be a little bit slower to start, or maybe, you know, but it's just not hooking me right now. I think this is going to go in the return pile, and I'm going to note to myself that if I want to pick this up, I should pick it up as an audiobook, because I'll get through it a little bit quicker. One, yes, I'm absolutely filming this on 2 separate days. 2, I absolutely picked up The Charm Offensive because it's a romance, but my library has it marked as ace. So The Charm Offensive is about Dev, who is the handler for the contestants on a Bachelor type show. But he's also very recently been broken up with by his, well, now ex-boyfriend, who is the handler for the Prince Charming, the Bachelor, on the show. It's also about Charlie, who is the Bachelor for the recent season, and we don't really know what's gonna happen, but it's a romance, right? Yeah, they're gonna fall in love. But Dev just recently got switched to be Prince Charming, Charlie's handler, instead of for the women, because Charlie is just not doing it and fulfilling his job as the Prince Charming. So the first chapter of this, which was rather long, by the way, was the opening night, when the prince meets all the contestants. And Charlie is a tech mogul. He's really hot, but he is incredibly anxious and incredibly awkward. Meanwhile, Dev desperately believes in true love and just actually wants to see the show do well for love, not for money. It's cute. I like it. It took a while to get into it, like the first 3-4 pages I was like, this is dragging, but then by the end of it I was like in it. So really excited for this one. It seems like it's gonna be cute. I love reality dating shows, and I like Ace. I like Ace representation, so I'm thinking this is gonna be a good one. Don't think it's quite beat out the Inevitable Victorian thing yet, but I'm excited for this one. Okay, that was only 5 or 6 pages. I don't even think it's technically the first chapter. Chapter 1 starts later. It was prologue stuff, but I'm hooked. I am intrigued. Into the Drowning Deep. So I picked this up for 2 reasons. One, Mira Grant, Shauna Maguire, she's probably my favorite, if not definitely one of my, possibly my absolute top favorite authors. And also it's about creepy, scary mermaids, which sounds great. The prologue of the beginning of this is just there is a network that makes mockumentaries of trying to find cryptids, and there was a film crew and actors sent on a submarine or a boat, a submarine, to find mermaids in the Marianas Trench, and they disappeared. the first little section is from the sister of one of the people on the expedition, and she got a video from her sister that was like, I can't explain what I saw, but it's real, and once you see the footage, you'll see what I mean. And I am hooked. I am hooked. This is, I have 2 more to read, but I'll probably read this one. Luminous Dead by Caitlin Starling. I'm not entirely sure what this is about. There's like a planet and people do mining expeditions but mysteriously die a lot. And our main character lies about her qualifications to get hired for a mining expedition because it pays a lot. I don't know. This was recommended by Spoops in their video for the Whatever You Want Thon. Here's the thing. This sounds like it's going to be really good. I don't think I can handle creepy cave diving story. Like, just the first chapter had me, like, tense. And nothing scary even happened in it. She was, like, walking into a cave. Not walking. Rappelling into a cave. Like, nothing. Nope. I think I'm gonna return this one. Because as good as I'm sure it is, I just don't think I can handle it. One more to go. Okay, so this is Before I Let Go by Marjorie Nightcap. I've read one other book by her, This Is Where It Ends, and I thought it was okay. There were things I liked, things I didn't. I don't really know what this is about based on like the pages I read in here. It's about somebody dies and it's their friend or partner, I'm not sure. Maybe kind of coping with that. I don't know. That wasn't a very good preview, so I'm still very uncertain on this one. But I don't know. It's interesting. It's told, like, the section I read had, like, a chapter that was, like, an actual, like, you know, a section that was just, like, actual, like, narrative. But then there was a call and then a letter. And it seems like there's going to be a lot of that. There's letters and transcripts and stuff, which is kind of fun. But I don't know. I don't know on this one. I think I'm just going to send it back to the library. I would have never picked this one up on my own. It was for a video that I didn't end up using it for, so I think this one's going back to the library. Okay, for this video, I read the first chapter or first section, whatever applies, of 7 different books that I've gotten from my library and needed to make a decision on whether or not I was going to read. Of them, I have 3 that I think I'm just going to return. 1, because I wasn't very interested. One, because I wasn't very interested. 1, because as interesting as it sounds, it might be a little much for me. And 1 that I think I just prefer more as an audiobook. I have 3 that I'm going to keep and come to soon. This is probably my order of priority for these 3. I like them all, think they're going to be interesting, just not necessarily hooked right away. And then I'm going to pick up Into the Drowning Deep next because I think it sounds really interesting. Because I hate a try a chapter tag that just gets left on a cliffhanger, I will do a reading diary video for Into the Drowning Deep so you can hear my thoughts on it in a future video. So keep an eye out for that. Subscribe if you haven't so that you know when it comes out. Like a video, like this video, not just any video. Like this video if you enjoyed it and to maybe help me reach a wider audience. And leave a comment below what you thought of these books. If maybe some of those 3 that I'm returning I should maybe give a second chance at. If I'm wasting my time with any of the 4 I'm keeping, just let me know your thoughts below. Alright, love y'all. Bye.